I am live. I am live. Darling, darling, baby. Yo, what up, Daniel? Hey, Heaven, what's going on? RB, what's up? What's up? What's going on? Salute to y'all. How's everybody doing on this Thursday? What's cracking? What's going on with it? Yeah. Yeah, sure. It was good seeing y'all again. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. Shout out to Dirty, you know. Yep, another early one. Yeah, the homie's supposed to be going live. Well, I think he might be going live again. Have to still waiting to see. So coming on right now, you know. Chilling for a minute. Matter of fact, I had to text him. How's everybody's Thursday? You know, almost the weekend. It's supposed to be raining out here this weekend. So, you know where I be. Cause it be pouring. Almost done with work. Oh man, I know you happy. Like that clock need to move a little bit faster. I'm ready to be done. Yeah, I have a feeling this rain that's coming is gonna be it's gonna be kind of tough. One more conference call and it's a wrap. Oh, just one. Oh shit. Well, hopefully that one goes by, you know, fast. Well, hopefully it goes by good. Because them conference calls, you know, sometimes they tend to be kind of draggy. And then you have those conference calls where they, you know what I'm saying? But I never did like conference calls like at the end of the day though. Cause I'd be tired. I'd be ready to go home. Like, what? We gotta do or just anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? You like ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? Your boss comes like, yeah, we have to do this before. I'm like, oh, what? Fucked up thing is you gotta do it. Or the next day you go into work about it, like, yeah, good luck on your future endeavors. Yeah, we got rain coming. Yep. And you know how this rain be out here. When that rain comes, it comes. Okay, for sure. Appreciate it. Yeah, that man, when it rained in Sacramento, it rained in Sacramento. You know, streets be flooded. And it'd be pounding. So I know people have heard the news. Oh, Drake boy, lawsuit got dismissed. Oh man, I don't know what took so long because the lawsuit was absolutely ridiculous. You know, absolutely ridiculous. Ray Vincent Almond, what's going on? You know, you're suing a rapper because he talked about you in a song, and because he, like, you're mad because I was like, but you're a rapper too, right? Like, you couldn't find nothing creative you could have said back at Kendrick? You're supposed to be this dope lyricist, right? And you couldn't find nothing to get back at Kendrick with? Like, I could think of 1,000 things I could have hit Kendrick with. You know? And you couldn't find one? Okay, well, you found one. You know, you tried to bring up his family dynamics and stuff. It was like, Drake, what are you talking about? Sound like a bumbling idiot. Well, look at your wife. She's not black. You sure about that? She don't got black. Drake, shit, you ain't black either then. If that's the case, you ain't black either. You a hybrid white boy. That's what you is. You a hybrid white boy. You know, you ain't black. You just a hybrid. That's what we're gonna start calling them now. Hybrids. They hybrids. They ain't black. They hybrid white people. When they get to acting like that, yeah. They hybrid white people. When you get a minute, check my. See, Kyle Fletcher defending the TNT title against Mark Briscoe. Oh yeah, Kyle figured that. Jay, I got a follow-up question for you. The Mr. IC Color, even you see, cut the check and keep it moving. What if Mr. IC Color offers Stephanie 4 good measures? Oh shit. You know, I don't even know how to answer that. All I can say is this: when it comes to Stephanie and Hunter Nokio, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. They be up each other's asses. You know what I'm saying? And with Triple H, Hunter Nokio being in charge, you know, it's a glorified. Well, baby, I know you don't want to actually work in the company anymore, so this is what I'm gonna do for you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. That whole family dynamic is just absolutely incessible. Yeah. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. See, Dr. Dre and Easy E didn't even suit. Man, Yeah, well, the the difference with that one was, um, they were actual like friends, like they grew up together type shit. You know, and then too with this one, you got two people that aren't like gang members, you know, gang bangers and all that. Um, where Dre, I mean, Dre could have, if Dre wanted to, Dre could have sued Easy, because Dre's not a gangster. He's not a gang. He talked about it, he rapped about it, but he ain't no gang member. You know, Easy on the other hand, yeah, that was a whole different story with that one, because Easy was a gang member, you know, and the streets at that time in LA, or shoot, in Compton, I should say, because it was more Compton based, because Suge and Easy and Dre, all the elements of Compton, um, with some LA representatives, obviously, but yeah, that dynamic, yeah, the only way the courts was going to be involved is after arrests were made and people were getting sentenced, you know. And plus, people was getting knocked down during that time. Like it was that was real beef. That wasn't about the music. What they had going on wasn't about the music. That was some real street shit going on with that. Yo, King Leo is in the building. What's good? So that's the difference between what happened between Kendrick and Drake, and the difference with Dre and Easy. You know, Kendrick and Drake. Now it could have been elements of that if things went a little bit further, but Dre and Easy, that was so thick. It was gangsters. It was gangsters involved. you know, and a lot of them was still very active in the death row days. You know, and people were, you know what I'm saying? Bodies were dropping. It was real bloodshed. You know, and Big Suge orchestrated that whole thing. He seen an opportunity and he jumped on it. You know, like anybody who's seen Straight Out, if you didn't grow up in California, if you didn't grow up in LA, Compton, during those times, and you seen everything from the outside, if you watch Straight Outta Compton, it was some fabrications in there, but what they showed, yeah, there was some truth, and there was a whole lot of truth that they showed. Um, because if you just go back and you see how Suge, like, say, like, well, hold on, what, you got this white boy over here? Like, how come y'all ain't, and he just slowly maneuvered himself through that whole thing until, he was able to get funded by the big dog. Which a lot of people don't realize, but Suge was about to catch Suge was about to catch a hot one because he wasn't paying homeboy. He was still locked up. He's still locked up at this time. And Suge wasn't paying him. So it was getting to that point where dude was like, hold on, I done funded Death Row. I done put the money behind Death Row, and I'm doing all this, and you not even, like, Oh no, shit! You must have forgot who I am. By chance, brother Leo, did you hear about Justin Credible's situation? Oh yeah, hey, you know what? I seen that last night. Prayers for Justin Credible. Yeah, he was in a bad car accident. OG two-tone Crenshaw Mafia blood. Yo, Compton business was a fool, that motherfucker. But I was look, and when I was watching it the first time, I was watching it, and that scene came on, and them little knuckleheads on the bus and everything, acting like they Crips and shit. I'm just like, the hell is these little motherfuckers doing? I'm like, you don't never do that shit. You don't never do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Thinking you marking somebody out, and that fool got y'all, y'all better keep your asses in the books. OG two-tone Crenshaw Mafia blood. I was like, oh shit. Like, man, yo, and that's really Compton Menace too. Like, don't let that movie fool you. No, dude really like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's calmed down a lot though, you know what I'm saying, as he's gotten older, but yeah. For those that know, yeah. Compton Menace was one of them guys. You know. Oh, ignore that he was not in a car accident, just incredible. He had it again. I'm in that movie in the crowd for the concert with my Raider hat on. What? You was in that movie? Hold on, see now I see. You gonna make me want to go back. Go right to that scene. Cause I was juiced when they announced that movie was coming out. I was like, oh, this is about to man. But it was so. Hey, Leo. You know, like I know, there was still a whole lot that they didn't even put in that movie. It was still a whole lot that they didn't even put in that movie. You know, L.A. and Compton in the '80s was. Let me just say it was an experience. You know what I'm saying? It was an experience. You know, that was when gangbanging was real gangbanging. Yeah, I'm way in the back. They film all them scenes at the same time in cinema. Oh yeah, he's screaming again, brother Jay. So I remember you saying that, Leo, but remind me. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna put that shit on tonight. Oh man, before I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna put that on. Straight out of Compton, the crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. And that brought back so many memories too. When that reporter said, asked Q, so, how are you handling all the success? How you spend all the money? Whatever the question he asked, he was like, he said, curl activator and Raiders gear. Oh man, that's what Stevie Richards said. Oh man, I take what Stevie Richards says with like a grain of salt. You know. You know, Stevie has a way of believing his own words that comes out of his mouth. And sometimes it can be very entertaining, and then other times it's like, come on, guy. Like, what is you doing? You know, what is you doing? Oh, pop that on. Wow. But yeah, that shit had me cracking. He said curl activate, and I remember, and see, tell you, man, I'm a real California boy. Man, I remember that press conference. Like when they showed that press conference on TV, I was like, whoa, I remember that. That was like, you know, I was just a little kid, so I didn't really, you know, I didn't understand like all the details and stuff, but I knew there was a problem going on. You know, because I was a kid, but I wasn't that much. I was like, shit, when that press conference happened, I was like probably like 9 years old. You know, so I was old enough to know what's going on, but all the little, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't find like all the little inside stuff until later on, like a few years later. You know, you can find out a lot of stuff when you're involved. When you're involved in that life, you find out a lot of stuff you ain't even asked for, right? Stuff you don't even ask for, but because you're in a particular life, you know what I'm saying, people just gives you information even though you don't even ask for it. So, you know, there's a lot that I know, but I will never speak on it. Never speak on it. Remember when AME Church rolled over Snoop's out? That was hilarious. Oh man, they took that. What was that trucker? Oh man, hey, he had the best response though. He had the best response. He was, sure, I don't care. They bought the albums already. What you buy before? Because me personally, I was mad. I was mad because I'm like, just because you gotta agree with the music doesn't mean you gotta destroy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what do you want them to do? You know what I'm saying? You complain about getting the brothers out the streets. You know what I'm saying? You complain about education and not having enough money to do this, that, and the third. So when the opportunity comes, you know what I'm saying, and cats is coming out the street, you know what I'm saying, and they're doing something positive and productive, you still got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got a problem. You can't have it both ways. You know? They ain't out there robbing and killing and everything. Nah, that's their entourage that's doing that shit. That's the entourage that's doing that shit. They're not doing that shit. But even in the entourage itself, there's a lot of people that they would bring out the streets, like, show them a different way, a different life. Like, you know, shoot, you can have this too. You know, so for them to do that, it's like, come on, man. Can't be doing that shit. You know. Because I guarantee you, they wouldn't like it if a bunch of people took a bunch of gospel CDs, right? And because they don't like gospel music, they start rolling all over the gospel albums that was made. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, you know. And you know, if that would have happened, oh, it would have been a lot of people like, oh my God, that's gospel music. You can't do that to the church. And I'm like, why not? I don't like the music. Same way y'all don't like the music that is being made. And then this is the other thing. Back then, there was two versions that was being put out. You had the clean version for the kids, all the youngsters and stuff, and then you had the you know what I'm saying? You had the unedited versions with all the cussing and stuff in it for all the adults and the older teenagers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was two versions, but that was only concentrated on the versions that was, you know, had the cussing and all that. They ain't say anything about the ones that the cussing was taken out. You know what I'm saying? They ain't say anything about those. Y'all complain about the cussing and stuff. Okay, well, they been doing this. But you guys just chose to ignore that, you know, because you thought that people weren't creative enough and had the intelligence enough to do two versions, you know. But the fact is, that's what they was doing because they was conscious enough that there is kids that listen to their music and stuff. And then not only that, but it got the Two Live Crew had them put the parental sticker on there because banned in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So there was measures and things being in place, you know. So it's like you can't control what people. That was destroying Pac's music. Pac's music. Somebody that was talking black culture and talking about uplifting people and all that. Yeah, did he have the other music? Yes, he did. But Pac was always about uplifting the people. You know what I'm saying? He's just speaking from the streets. And in the streets, you're not about to get flowers and daffodils and people holding hands and singing "We Shall Overcome." You're not going to get that in the streets. So why is artists that's from the streets going to make music for people that have no idea how they like? So you want them to fabricate themselves? Well, that's what you got because today's music over the last 15 years, you got a lot of fabrication. A lot of guys get out here portraying to be gangsters and everything. And when they come across real gangsters, these motherfuckers over here got their booty cheeks tightened up about to shit on themselves because they don't know what to do because they around some real motherfuckers. You know, stomp on Kurt Franklin's album lyric. Stomp. Well, this say stomp, right? So you're just doing what the song says, right? You know, because that was something that, you know, when I used to go into the studio and I used to record song stuff, I made a conscious decision that, you know, okay, we're gonna do one version that's, you know what I'm saying, regular, then we're gonna do a clean version. So, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody can't be like MC Hammer and, you know, not cussing the records. Which is an art form too, because it's like if you need to cuss to make your song sound good, then you're probably not doing a good job. Probably need to try to, you know, work on that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody don't want to hear like like hella bars in a row, and every word in the bars start with an A, an F, a B. Oh, that was cracking. You know what I'm saying? All of that. Anybody want to hear all that? You know what I'm saying? We want to hear good music and music that has messages into it. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, what's happening? You know, and there's room for that type of music too, but it ain't gotta be on every song. You know, on every song, on every album. You know, like bring back the skits in these albums. I miss them skits. Them skits used to be funny as hell, and it used to add to the overall makeup of the albums, the tapes, the CDs. I really don't like music with words. Now that type of music, now that's some talent right there. Because the music is the words. You know what I'm saying? The music is the words, and that's how a lot of songs are created. Because if you can hear the music and you know how to read the music, then the words that you want to apply to that comes in like, you know, or it should come in quite easily. You every once and again, that damn writer's block coming in and kind of get stuck on certain shit. But that's why I stopped writing a long time ago, because I was getting that writer's block and I couldn't get out of that shit. So I had to like retrain myself on how I was gonna rap. Like, am I gonna sit here for hella long, come up with a couple words and then be stuck? Or being that I have a pretty good memory, yeah, I can formulate stuff in my head. Okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, all right. Because like, hey, Leo, when you had played that song "Low," had sent you for Monday, when you was playing it, I'm listening to the music, and I was literally putting a verse together in my head. I think if you would have stayed on like another minute or two, I would have had a whole verse done, just like that. Techno forever. Techno and trance, that's everything. My album in mid-November. I'll send you a signed copy. J Militant. For sure. Yo, what's up, Doug? What's going on? Yeah, I know you know. I know you know. You know what I'm saying? That it just, man. It be that easy though. When you know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to read music, then actually writing songs to music is gonna be so hard. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be so hard. Because you have to be able to read the music. I'm gonna finish the song. Are we dropping an EP? Oh shit. Be looking forward to that. As a matter of fact, you know what? Hold on. Let me oh. Wow. Tyler, what's happening? Yeah, because like when people was when they found out, Jay-Z doesn't write his songs and stuff, everybody thought that was some new concept that, Jay-Z great. Like, nah. Shit, what you don't know, a lot of people been doing that. You just don't hear about it. Or like a lot of people do, shit, get you a ghostwriter. Get you a ghostwriter. I was, you know what? Let me say this about ghostwriters. I don't have a problem with ghostwriters. All days off. What's happening? Jay-Z wrote a lot of the Chronic 2001. Oh yeah, like Jay, he'll write for other people, but when it comes to his own stuff, he won't write. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with ghostwriters. What I have a problem with is when it's done in rap. Because I feel, as a rapper myself, you should have the ability to be able to like either write down your stuff or be able to clock it up here and then hit the studio and lay down them tracks. You know what I'm saying? Not having somebody else, right? Because there's it's a different standard with rap compared to like other genres of music. Because other genres of music is not built off of so much of who you are, it's built off of the music. So you could literally be a whole gang leader, a drug dealer, and have a band and nobody won't know it because that's not what you're pushing. That's not the music you're making. You know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to go down that path. Now, if you are that, and then you are a rapper, and then you have somebody else writing your lyrics, and then they're portraying you to be a gangbanger when you're just a simple drug dealer, then that's going to cause a problem because you're going to come across real gangbangers and they're gonna check. They're gonna check you. They're gonna put that pressure on you. And if you ain't got a good enough answer while you're doing this, I don't need to tell y'all what the consequences of that is. It's surprising a lot of people don't know how to read sheet music. It, I, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. The rich syndicate, yeah, there you go. The rich syndicate in the building, you know. And I'm not even a Jay-Z fan. Yeah, there's a lot of people who, yeah, Jay-Z. These days, everyone's punching in, so that makes even more easier to write your own shit. Yeah, yeah. It's like if you could do it yourself, then you know. But I know people don't be having patience and be like, no, I want somebody else to do it. Like, okay, I hate punching in. I need the whole verse on memory before I get to this lab. That's how I like it too. Well, for people that can't write their own verse, that style makes it easier. No, it makes it easier. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about the difference between rap and other genres of music. Because other genres of music, you don't have to worry about certain stuff based off of who you are as the artist. As a rapper, if you're portraying yourself to be something that you're not based off of what somebody else is writing for you, you got to answer that whenever you hit them certain cities and states, because them cats is going to, you know what I'm saying, put that pressure on you. You know what I'm saying, to see if you really about that. And if you ain't about that, yeah, you find yourself in a sticky situation. You know, it's no different than like somebody that be hanging around the gang and then they go off on their own and they doing whatever they're doing and they're acting like they got put onto the gang and they really didn't. You know what I'm saying? Now they gotta, when they go back across that gang, they gotta answer for that. Because you're portraying yourself to be something that you're not. You hang around us. You're associated with us. You're not affiliated. No affiliation. Don't be going out here acting like you one of us, because shoot, bad things happen. Oh yeah, majority of singers singing something someone else wrote, and people have no problem. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like R&B, rock, all that stuff, where you find majority ghostwriters. You know what I'm saying? You know. Hold on for a second, y'all. All right, I'm back. You know, because I had somebody. Well, I didn't have somebody, but somebody had wrote a verse for me to be on the song that I was asked to be on, and so they came and they came and brought me the beat. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they hand me a sheet of paper with lyrics on it. I'm like, what you want me to do with that? What is this for? They was like, oh, sure, I wrote a verse for you to. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I can write my own shit. You know? And this is when I was still writing too. Like I could write my own shit. I don't need, nobody writing anything for me. You know. And so dude, he got in his feelings and pulled me off the song, so I didn't even get a chance to be on that song. He put somebody else on the song. Yeah. Yeah. That song was trash too. That song was trash too. Because what I did was I went ahead and wrote a verse to that shit anyways. And I had spit that verse to my homeboys. And they was like, I see, now that's the verse that should have been on that song. I don't know what the hell that, people be hating. The music business is cutthroat. They will hate. They will try you. Okay. You want to get in the music business? Understand they will try you. Because they don't think you know anything, so they're gonna try to throw them little curveballs at you and try to throw in shit that you may not, or they think that you don't know about. That's why you got to do your homework. And know what a 360 deal is. I know a lot of people hear about it, but a lot of people still don't know what a 360 deal actually is. You know what I'm saying? Just when I tell you, it's one thing when you hear it, it's another thing when you read it. And so my whole perspective on that is, if you don't mind paying 15, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Like you could have like let's say like a 3-album deal. Something small, right? 3-album deal. You do those 3 albums, you do all the stuff, boom. Why you ain't got the money? Because you gotta pay all that shit back. When that shit's, you still gotta pay shit back. And what you made off of them 3 albums ain't gonna be nowhere near what you could have made if you would have just got a lawyer or did your homework and knew exactly what those things say. Because contracts are not written out like how we talk. Contracts are written out very meticulously. The wording is very, very, how can I say? It will go over your head if you don't understand quite what is being said. Because I know people see the money, the dollars, like, oh yeah, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Don't get hyped up about the signing bonus. As a matter of fact, you should take the signing bonus and go put up in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch that shit. Because just in case, you might need that money. You know what I'm saying? You might need that money. So just be very, very cautious, when you're being presented with contracts and stuff. And it just ain't the music business. That's with anything in life. Anytime you're dealing with contracts, you have to everything. And even if you have a lawyer read over, you make sure that lawyer explains to you what that means. Like literally sit next to your lawyer and literally word for word go over what everything means. And do your homework too. Because it's going to be words in there, I guarantee you probably never even knew existed. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be words in there you never knew existed. But that's why when I come on here, I tell y'all about wordplay. You have to know how to wordplay, because that's what a contract is. Yeah, it'll sound real good and sweet. Like, oh yeah, your eyes light up. Like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? You think you done, you know what I'm saying, made it big. All just to come to find out, you made them more money. You didn't make no money. You made them more money. You know, you basically get pimped. You basically get pimped. You know what I'm saying? So in order to avoid getting pimped, you have to do your due diligence as the artist. Don't always rely on lawyers and different people to, you know, figure it out for you, because at the end of the day, if anything goes sideways, guess who got to pay that shit? Not them. It's you who got to pay that shit. You know? And then how you gonna pay that shit back? Perpetuity is the magic word to make sure it gets excluded. Yeah. Facts. You know, and what Leo just said there, that's an actual line right there. That's an actual line right there. That's not the first time I've read that. I've seen that. Yeah. You know. And you see it in other artists. I mean, shoot, a TLC. TLC is a perfect example. They got hit with that 360. You know? Then they had to go to court and like they didn't make no money. They didn't make no money. Think about that. They didn't make no money. They had to go to court to get the rights to their music so they can make money off of their music. So just think about how much money they have to spend on that. You know what I'm saying? So, and by the time they was able to make any type of dollars off of that music, was still a few years down the road. You know? So, you got to be real careful with that. You know, shit, New Edition went through it. Shit, ABC, The Boys. I mean, the list is just outrageous. How many people got played because they was looking at the dollar signs and wasn't looking at everything else. You know, or for better example, football. You know, you play football, have dreams of going to the NFL, you get drafted. You get drafted, so I was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to make all this money. Yeah, woo. You know what I'm saying? Get drafted in top 10. So you know you getting millions off top. Signing bonus going crazy. You juiced. Sign that contract. You get hurt. You get cut. Well, where's the rest of my money? You didn't look at that contract? You didn't know that NFL contracts are not guaranteed? Let's start with that. You realize NFL contracts are not guaranteed? Only guarantee you get out of that contract is the signing bonus. That's it. That's all. You know, that contract you sign means absolutely nothing until you're able to play that contract out. If you're able to play that contract out, if they don't cut you before then. You know. And the other thing is, you know, Don't go out there and start buying stuff before you actually get the money. Because a lot of people go out there and they go and start buying things before they get the money. And sometimes they get in a situation where they ain't got enough to cover it. Because the other thing is, this is the other important part. Them contracts comes with lawyers, comes with fees. So even with that guaranteed money, you got to pay your lawyer. You know what I'm saying? What we talking about? 13%, 14, 15. You know, you got to pay that. Now, after that, you got an agent, right? You got to pay your agent. So you just paid your lawyer, you paid your agent. Nope, you're still not done. You're still not done. You got a manager, right? Got to pay the manager. You know. Oh, now if we're dealing with the music, oh yeah, you got to pay the producer. Got to pay the engineer. Got to get paid, right? So when you get that money, you have to pay other people before you can actually see that money yourself. So by the time, like let's say you get like a $20 million signing bonus. By the time when you get the money, it ain't gonna be $20 million. You know. Oh, not to mention the taxes on there. You know. A lot. It's a lot when you're dealing in contracts, you know, and that's why it's very important because once you put your name down, shit, you locked in, and when you locked in, it is almost impossible to get out of that shit. You can still do it, but it's shit. You better have one of them Johnny Cochran type lawyers. Because if you got one of them Ricky Dick lawyers, shit, you gonna be you gonna be in bad shape. So messages, just pay attention. Pay attention and do your homework. You know, and the less you have to rely on everybody else, the more money you put in your pocket. You know, because really, to be honest with you, it should only be your team. You know what I'm saying? The people you surround yourself with, keep the money in house. You know, don't go out the house and, you know, keep it in house. You know, let the money generate amongst yourselves. You know, we don't buy from nobody else. We buy from ourselves. You know. Well, but I'm about to get off of here, y'all. Hey, Leo, are you gonna be going live tonight? If you're still in the chat. Yeah, I got this game on too. Ooh. Whoa, hold on. Oh, snap. It's 20-17 Giants. Oh, snap. Oh, gotta hook that up. Oh, okay. Somebody just ordered an album cover. Oh, is that right? Oh, that's what's up. Oh, I know Tia is not happy right now. Okay, y'all. So, be on the lookout. Leo goes live. I'll put it in my community. You know. So, with that said, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Thursday. Tomorrow we are at No Dirt Sheets with the brother y'all see right there, King Leo. And come on through and come have some fun with the heel chat. You know, you never know what might pop up or what might be said. So with that said, y'all, I'll catch y'all later. I'll catch y'all next time, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.